Woo, woo. Hey guys, so as promised, couple quick tips. So if you're trying to get like, I kind of call it like scale detail, or just you're trying to get like a little underlying detail to feet, to bills, to whatever, because a lot of times they're not just a solid color. For example, a mallard, you would want to have his under, you know, ridges and stuff to be, let's say, like a light yellowish orange, as opposed to just regular orange. So same thing with like a diver. He's going to have more of like black lines, just like if you were to kind of paint over a black like we're doing here, and then lacquer thinner that off, you would still have black creases in the low spots, and that would be that's one good way of doing it. But anyway, so for this, I have a just an old beater, lightly sprayed on with black. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paper towel, kind of get it where I could rub a flat surface as good as possible. And then saturate that with lacquer thinner. And all I'm trying to do there is just take all the black off, and then basically whatever remains remains for detail. And this one, this one did have a little bit more as far as some holes and stuff I hadn't filled up, and that kind of stuff. So like I said, this is just one I wanted to use because I don't have a mallard or anything related to that I'm currently working on. So this is about the best I can come up with. So, but as you can see, the basic gist is you have let me see. You have black around going towards the nail. You already have a little bit of black there in the nose. Then you have a little bit of darker areas along the sides. On the bottoms, kind of a little bit more of a scuffy. Because you want some areas to kind of be a little, a little scuffy, so that way when you do go and paint that orange, that'll be leading into the next trick, by the way. So once we get that, I have a fulvus here. I wanted to do the same thing just to kind of see, because they have a lot of details underneath. A lot of people don't capture. Now this is more competition related stuff, so but as you can see here, when its low spots are much different. There's a lot of bumps and creases along the nostrils. So with this, then when you started painting it Payne's gray and some of the other darker colors after that, then you're going to still be able to kind of see that different texture underneath, because a fulvus will have in this area, he'll have basically like a black splotchy area, not quite like circular, but just splotchy. If you look at reference pictures and stuff. So, and if you can kind of get that in there this way, and the bottom most of the time is kind of dark anyway. Once you go over that with like a diver gray, that's fine too. So, but anyway, just to kind of show you what it can do. Most of the time it's here at the ends. It'll be here around the nose, and then in the corner, unless they have, unless the bill has a few more details. So I'm going to paint yellow real quick for the next part, and then I'll cut back in once that's all ready, so the air compressor isn't blowing your eardrums out. And then I'll kind of show you the next trick. And I mean, it's easy stuff, but I've been wanting to show it. And it really is funny how some of the easiest tricks can have the biggest effects on, like, say the long term or the end product. And that's where these kind of come in. So I'll do that, and then we'll go from there, or I'll be right back. All right, so now we're back with the yellow. So you can still see a little bit of the, the detail from before, kind of that dirty look. Normally, after this, I would normally come in and I would paint the nail black, the underside black, right the corners of the mouths, maybe a little line running up the line. You know, like just for an example, just kind of give them, you know, a little bit like that, and then, you know, I do a little bitty paintbrush, paint the black of the nostrils. And so the big thing is when you look at it like this, I know it's going to be hard to tell, but you're not going to get a lot of shine. It's going to be real flat, and you don't want it where you shine gloss or lacquer on it, because then it's just too glossy. You know, ducks don't look like that. And I've tried matte finish, and even matte finish, it still looks just too glossy, you know. So years back, a guy was like, I saw him, you know, old timer rubbing a duckbill against his shirt, and always on the inside of your shirt, because it will come off and stain. But so anyway, I'll do that. But when you take your shirt off and you give it a good rubbing, you know, you can apply some good pressure to it, and you know, you'll have a few areas that are gonna the paint's gonna rub away. You have to kind of retouch it up or whatever. But what it does do is gives it just a natural shine. It's crazy. It's kind of like that, almost matte, a little bit less, but it looks, you know, much more realistic. And so then hopefully you can see from here a little bit, just from rubbing, that shine is what's coming through just from that rubbing. So point being is, luckily I didn't have a lot of this, you know, not the greatest head, because it's got, you know, chips and dings and everything, because it was a trash head. But just wanted to show that. And then also, once you rub it and kind of get that all figured out, it's also going to help with the paint kind of scratching or chipping away, or you know, kind of coming off easy. So that's not, you know, say if you rub it with your shirt and it gets thin area or some of it comes off, no big deal. Airbrush back on, rub. Maybe it'll fall off a little bit less this time, but airbrush, rub, and just do that, you know, 3-4 times until it's all good to go. And like I said, the amount of shine that comes through is really about as close to a real duck as you're going to get. So for certain species, I would definitely say do the detail wash with the black. Wipe it all off best you can. Just leave the low spots, because that's just going to be kind of pretty much impossible to do otherwise. And that'll help you kind of start off at a good kind of clip there, and then you can start adding your normal colors. And then for your normal stuff, do the same thing. I would say maybe mallards, redheads, maybe scop to a degree. You just have to look at reference pictures and see really which ones kind of have a dirty or a dingy kind of looking bill, you know, more so. And that'll definitely do it though. And like I said, man, get your shirt. Paper towels are kind of scratchy. They will work, but you're going to have much more of the issue of it rubbing off. Honestly, the cotton t-shirt, for whatever reason, just seems to work the best. And man, you just basically polish it up, and checking it out here, and you just get a really nice shine. And that's if I had a real mallard head sitting next to me, I mean, it would be as close as you can get. So anyway, guys, that's the little quick tips for today. I'll try to get some others. The one with the Emperor Goose color, I don't know. I'm not going to be doing one for a while. I'll try to get something similar as far as some of the opaque areas. Can't promise anything there, but be sure to subscribe. Share the video. I'm really just trying to help some guys coming up. I know I'm going to beat the horse dead at this point, but when I started, man, I would have killed to have videos like this to watch, and And at that time there was nothing like that, just VHS tapes or whatever. But so I really hope that, I'd love to see, because the more kids, more younger guys, I should say, that can do a little better. Um, it's not only good for them, but then it's good for the customer, and it's good for the bird who died to make, to be somebody's trophy. And so the better he looks on the wall, the better it just reflects everything, how people perceive it, how people, next time they see taxidermy, I know a lot of people that seen mine, and it'll completely change the way they see it, because they're so used to seeing such shoddy stuff in places. And once they see birds that actually look as close to alive as possible, anyway, their whole mindset changes. And then it's like, oh, I didn't know, you know what I mean? So, it's just kind of a big deal. And that's what kind of the fight I'm interested in, is just trying to get, help as many people get as little bit of better as possible, and just share some of the information that I've kind of accumulated over the years. And I had no interest in going and making some video and stuff like that. I mean, heck, I could do it now if I wanted. But anyway, hope you guys have a good weekend. I guess I will try to do a standing kind of version. I'm gonna have to time that out just right. But these are a couple painting techniques. This is for lacquer base. Last thing, water base. The only thing water base is going to be good for is if you paint your feet with lacquer base, and when you go to do scale detail, like I just showed you, then what you would do is you would kind of lightly brush on the water base black over the feet, and then you would kind of just run a paper towel lightly over it to try to keep the black in the crevices, but then take the black away from the paint itself, because lacquer base and water base shouldn't mix together. And that's generally how you'll do a scale detail on that. Obviously I know it's a little bit more complex, so I'll try to do a video and explain a little bit more. That's something I haven't done since competition days. But anyway, so I appreciate it, guys. Keep on subscribing. The views are getting higher and higher, which is fantastic. And until next time. Wait. All right, bye, guys.